All right, so ignore how the back of this pumpkin looks. It was arguing with us, so it's open now. Like I said, we figured we'd do this quick video, how to weld the rear end up. This is in our AMC Eagle wagon. Really, this is fairly simple. I mean, a million people ask on Facebook all the time, but really, all it takes
is this. So, everybody knows how a rear differential works, right? No, you don't need to. When you spin this wheel, the gears in the middle turn. When you spin that wheel, this big gear turns.
No, it doesn't.
Well, if you turn them both at the same time.
Right, which we don't want to do because we don't want the carrier to move right now.
So this giant gear you can see in here is the one coming off where the drive shaft connects. Those teeth line up with this big gear. That's all you need. You don't need any of this stuff. So the goal is to weld a giant mess inside of here so that that stuff can no longer turn. It just makes the entire axle turn. So we just take our ground, we just get it on something. We'll get it where we can here. Got a lot of room.
Hold on.
Attached to
there
go. That's better. Get our ground on there. Get our glove on one end. That's all we got.
Pardon the gimp while he tries to weld.
You take off your lucky hat. Put on your Iron Man helmet. Now you don't have to have an Iron Man helmet, but it helps. And I like to start out and I weld this gear to this gear, this gear to this gear, this gear to this gear, and then you can weld them right to the whole carrier here too. It doesn't matter. But just make this where it can't move anymore.
Under the trailer. Hold on.
Alright. And if you do it easy way, you just rotate this a little bit until those gears are just about to touch, and now you got the perfect little distance to weld. One. Two.
To the 3 and 4.
Oh yeah. Three. Four. Now, disclaimer, drain your rear end fluid first. It's not combustible, but it can be flammable. Now, ours is still full down here, so that tells you literally all we did was drain some of it out. When it stops dripping, you can start welding. It's not a big deal at that point. Don't forget, once you weld those right there, make sure your tires are off the ground. We now have posi trac. Turn it all the way halfway over, and voila, there's your second set. The other side, weld those two.
Same set, all the same gears. Second side.
Second side.
I know what he meant, but
Yeah.
just in case.
You don't have a hidden set in here anyway. Boy, it's tough to get that ground on there. I'm sure there's probably an easier place to put it. Right there's where it's at. One and a half. Cast is on fire.
right, now technically, if you trusted your welding, that would be enough.
Yep.
It's just those spots there where the gears touch. Now, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a quick break here. I'm gonna let Adam weld it to the carrier too, and then I'll show you the finished product.
There we go.
All right, there she is. There's a big old gobble weld on there. So that welds the actual spider to the carrier, and then all the gears inside are welded together also. Give this guy a spin. They all turn together now, and let's see the big old gobble weld on that side. There it is, guys. That's simple. We're gonna pound this pumpkin back over and put her back in place, and
You don't have to worry about putting more fluid or anything in that in there. If you're gonna reuse the rear end after every car, it's a good idea to tap that, put your lube and stuff. If you're just gonna run 1 or 2 shows with it, I don't think it's that big of a deal.
yeah. And if obviously if it's not a derby car and you do this, you may want to obviously fill it back up, put some fluid back in and all that shit if you're using it for some other type of application. But this rear end's not coming out of this car, so it's good enough. We're just going to seal it back up and call it. Actually, we're not even going to seal it. We're going to close it and then call it good. So I think we're going to call this one a video. As always, guys, we appreciate you following along. And
Okay, Goose.
oh god, he's down there.
I'm just